first night's dinner.
And I'll never forget. I fucking looked out the window, the front door, and I'm like, spooked.
Oh, the
I
fucking
got
front door, yeah.
Spooked. I got spooked. That's all I can tell you about Mill.
Jumbo's had a ghost. It had a few.
Oh yeah, I got spooked.
Good morning. Oh, as per usual, I did not sleep very well first night. And I have a hell of a night here too. My friend Kirgy and her girl pal, Sherry. Sherry's like 62. They're both old strippers from Hollywood back in the day, dancing at the 7th Veil in the late 80s and all that. And then a couple of Sherry's friends showed up, 4 of them that are young people, all born after 2000. Oh my God. And so there was a lot of woohoo. Although we weren't up super late. Let me show you. Let me show you where I'm parked here. Let's try not to reveal too much. I had to make my way over to the bathroom. There's actually showers here. We're just outside of town at Bakersfield, so I'm sure I look like hell. There'll be more of this. Stick around. Good setup with the van. World's best piss bottle. Lady's been up for a while. They're already cooking. Doing what they're supposed to do. I'll walk you over to the bathrooms here so you guys can see them. So this area here, it's called Ming Lake. Back over that direction, there's a lake. Of course, the Kern River runs right along it. I'd never been here before. Usually I'm up in a more remote spot for the Kern River. But as I was saying, there's this building here. And there's showers on this side, 4 showers, and then there's 4 bathrooms on the other. On the other side of this building is where the car fire was yesterday. And it did get to 40 degrees last night, I wanted to say too. Cold.
Be right here and do this.
Okay.
Old percolator coffee this morning. So it turns out I'm not supposed to be parking on the grass here. I might have said this already. This is not my kind of camping. in a place like this with all these people. And one of the women that was here that I met, Sherry, nice lady, but she's just invited a bunch of people that she works with to come down. So these people showed up last night at the fire. Another guy just showed up now. More people are coming. I didn't sign up for that. They're all nice, but if I'm going camping, I want to be out in the middle of nowhere, you know. So I'm waiting for this awning here to dry. So I'll leave the truck here for a while. It might piss somebody off for a little bit, but as soon as that's dry, I'm gonna pack it up and head home. So this will be a short video for you guys. I'll probably do some talking or something. Maybe I'll show you some other things. We're basically in Bakersfield, so I'm gonna leave this here for now. Kurt and I are gonna drive into town and hit a Army Navy store or something, some thrift shops, just look around, and then I'm gonna come back and pack up and head back to town. But it was nice sleeping out here last night. I didn't get the best sleep, but it was okay. And yeah, a little more eyeball for you. Apparently over there is all houses, and that's people's backyards right there. It's another crazy thing. This is not camping. All right, we got some cooking going on, and I'm gonna give you guys a little fashion show. You ready for that? I was gonna go home, but I decided to stick around. My pal Kern and I went out to the thrift stores. This old, it's not super old, but it's a Field and Stream. I've mentioned this before. I collect these things, and I didn't have this one, and it was cheap. It was like 20 bucks or something. The funnier one this is an old Wrangler. I love this. Can you read that? Check the back. It's a porta potty cleaning service. This shirt was made for me. But the piece de resistance. I've been wanting one of these quality old school jerry cans, and this one it says 1987 on it, and it's got the proper lid on it. This is military NATO style, and I'll show you the one I've been using that's not any good. It's very similar, but that's what we're going to talk about here briefly. This is the Harbor Freight version, and you'll see it has the seam correct. It's made correct that way. It's a pretty good can, except for the lid, right? The cap, and they had to do this to work with the law and everything else, and it's garbage, and the cap breaks on its own. So I kind of had to store it in that black box on the back of the van there. Now, my buddy George Caruso sent me a link to an aluminum cap for this that'll work, that obviously won't break, and I should probably find one of those, but I've been lazy about it. This one here, the whole can, 40 bucks, and the red coating on the inside still all there. I'll flush it out first, but with this I can mount this now where the spare tire used to be underneath the van, between the frame rails. I think there's enough room to put 2 of them end to end. Now you can get the Wavion versions of these, but they're like $100 or more a piece. So for 40 bucks, this was a no-brainer. And that's the goal. I wanted to put a whole gas tank there and run a switch, fill it and then run that to my other tank and everything else. But if I got 2 of these down there, that's an extra 10 gallons of fuel getting myself out of trouble if I need to. And mounting it low underneath there is going to be better than having it hanging off the back of the vehicle. Again, 40 bucks for this. I was pretty stoked. So I'm going to spend another night here. I think it'll be fun. The girls can cook, man. The breakfast was amazing. Let me spin this around for you. What's this place called? So we got an issue. So it's interesting. Couldn't park on the grass, so I moved up here. And even though we got the biggest campsite here, you can't have more than 2 vehicles parked here. 4 vehicles could fit here on this little stretch here, no problem. But they have a limit of 2 vehicles. So one of the gals here just rented the space next to us just so she had a place to park. So again, Ming Lake is right here, and this is the Kern River at Ming Lake. Just so you guys know, yes, they've got facilities. They've got bathrooms and showers, and I'm going to hit the shower here in a little bit. But what you got to deal with, even just with them driving through to like needle you a little, this is not real camping, right? You guys have seen what I typically do. So this might be a place you might want to avoid this particular spot. Just saying. We had a car fire first thing yesterday, and then we've been getting screwed with. So Ming Lake, Kern River, maybe avoid this spot unless you live local and it's easy for you, or you're on the road and you're just cruising through and you're looking for a place to sleep that has a bathroom and shower. Not so bad, I suppose. But we're all like punk rock kids, right? We're just breaking the law, breaking the law.
From the neck down, fucking fingernail beds, kneecaps, the whole fucking big toe.
It's night 2. Our one pal is sleeping. Cody's setting up her bed in the truck. Let's walk over. I did not leave that plate there. There's a heavy bank here. You can see somebody kind of carved stairs out of here. Maybe I'll sit down and do a little talking to you. So I decided to stay the second night. You heard that already. Had a nice night. Let's see if we can walk around here. So the place it's relatively clean. Like they're sticklers about their parking situation and all that. But I'll tell you, the sites aren't clean. Like if you look at the ground, you're going to find a bunch of bottle caps, you know, and papers, you know, just empty containers here. They've got people here that clean up, I suppose, but it's interesting. And if you have your dog crap everywhere. People bring their dogs to places like this and they don't pick up after their dogs. So I know I sound like I'm bitching. I'm just saying. I guess you get this with this sort of campground. Now there was a woman, there was a tent next to us the whole time, and she's been here. And Kirgy spoke with her this morning, and she didn't say it, but she's clearly living out of her car. Actually, she's pulling out now. And so I guess it's about 20 bucks a night to park here, which is pretty good when you think about it. Because again, there are showers. Where is it? Right there in that building. On the other side, there's bathrooms. And hey, if you're living in your vehicle, out of your vehicle and sleeping in a tent and whatnot, it's not a bad deal if you can do it. There she goes. See right across the river here, there's people in an RV. I figure I might as well give you guys a look at the building here. You'd be curious, I'm sure. We got a bike camper over here. This guy's on a bicycle camping out. So 4 showers. I used it yesterday. Hot water. Doesn't run out. Not on a timer or anything like that. This hasn't been open since I've been here. So 2 water heaters. And all this plumbing in here keeps the rooms warm. So you can come out here in the middle of the night and use the bathroom. And you're not freezing in there. Of course, they don't use them. And on this side is the bathrooms, which I think I already showed you guys. This is interesting because they got wheelchair access as well. This is just a funny, interesting tip for you, but when the toilet is right next to the sink like that, it's great because you can always wet the toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to use the wet wipes if you're used to using those when you're camping. So, because obviously they don't want you flushing those things. But there is a can you can toss them in, and it's just the right thing to do because these things get clogged up. Because people do it all the time. I suppose women are more responsible for that, for flushing some of those things, and makes rates go up and all that good stuff. So, be courteous about using the bathroom properly. I can't believe I'm talking about it, but it is an important thing. So you can see here, most of the access here to the river is a problem. It's a steep grade drop off. A lot of it, there's like spots every 20 feet usually where it's kind of dug out and you can kind of walk down, but it's definitely not set up for access to the river at this campground. Obviously people do it. And again, a lot of trash. So this is always the thing. Now, if I'm in the middle of the wilderness somewhere by myself and I find trash, I pick it up and take it out with me. This place has people here that work here. They've got giant garbage cans everywhere. There's another building. It's like two halves of this park, but here's another bathroom. So I'm sure that one has the showers and the toilets just like the other one. So while you can get down to the water, it's not easy. Also, there are raccoons and cats. Because last night, Kern and I, we were up till about 11:30, sitting around the fire, and I drank. I'm not, like I told you, I've been on the wagon, I haven't been drinking. I was just in the mood, and I have this funny, I like to take the big Watkins vanilla containers and like the smaller glass maple syrup containers, the ones that are like flask size, and I do that thing I do. So it's coffee liqueur with whatever else I want to put in it. So I do the Tennessee Chola, right? We all know Sarah Wonderhussy loves that drink that I make. It's honey Jack Daniels with coffee liqueur. So I had a few of those. I had a couple where I did the Contru, that orange flavored liqueur with the coffee liqueur, and then I did one with tequila with the coffee liqueur. So last night I I did a bottle of the tequila with the coffee liqueur, and I polished off the second half of the one with the honey jack in it, and so I got pretty lit last night on top of everything else, but at least I slept real well. So yeah, it was like 11 o'clock at night and we're seeing critters. Like, what the hell? I got this real powerful flashlight. First, it started with this one raccoon with balls. And then next thing you know, we saw this black and white cat. And then later on, we saw this orange cat, and they were coming right up like underneath our vehicles. And then there was like a family of 3 raccoons that came later. We just kept shooing them away. And I slept through everything that last night, but Kern apparently said that she heard him and saw him up on the table, like arguing over stuff, because one of the women I'm with on this trip, they left a bunch of snacks and stuff out there for them critters to eat. So that's what they did. And the first night, they really rampaged everything. Not my stuff, because I'm self-contained in the van. So I don't have that problem, and I know about that already. So you should never leave food and things out like that on the table, obviously. At any rate, it was an interesting thing to wake up to this morning because there's raccoon prints everywhere, and they just apparently tore everything up. But by the time I was up and out of the Kurgi had already cleaned everything up. We got some spraying going on out here. The time we've been here, not fun. Look at this. You're not looking at this. I'm looking at this. Well, whatever that pipe did, it's broken now. Oh yeah, somebody died over here, I heard. So there's the memorial. Maybe we'll walk down and check that out. It looks like I might be able to walk down over there. I could probably get down from here. There's a little bit of climbing. Let's get down there and I'll do a little final talk up of this place and everything else. That's pretty recent. Here's a dead critter. Been there a while. Animal path. Yeah, so a lot of trash down by the river too. There's a couple of eagles. Well, I think they're hawks, but they scream like eagles. Maybe they are a form of eagle. But there's two of them, and then they're over by our camp. And then there's also some large owls in the area at night. And there are definitely coyotes out here, which I did not expect. But you could hear them at night. A pack of them was going over the hills. We can hear them. They'd be howling and hooling over there, behind us, and over the other side. They're probably chasing something. You know, I would just say, like, for me personally, I'm not a fan of looking at these stark hills of, you know, dry grass. It's visually, it's interesting. Maybe I'll take a photograph right here because it is somewhat picturesque, but, and I don't think these mounds are natural. I don't know, something, it's weird here. Some sort of old looking storefront up here too. What is that? That's interesting. I'm out of the camp now, I'm pretty sure. Going on an adventure. This coat's getting warm. If you're curious about this thing, this is a wear guard. I bought it back in the 90s, and they had a catalog, workwear catalog. You guys know me, I like heavy duty, tough stuff. And when I was a kid, my dad had this in a brown, and the pants, and it was hunting gear, you know, keep you warm during hunting season in the winter. And you know, this thing hung in my closet gathering dust for decades, really. And I threw it in the van, and every time I'm on a camping trip now, it's cold, I throw this thing on. It's amazingly warm, and it has these top feeding pockets here that are huge. They're massive, plus a hand warmer behind it. And then this upper pocket here, it's pretty large. There's an inner pocket on the left side here. So it's you could put a tremendous, your flashlights, whatever else you want to have in your pockets when you're sitting around a campfire. The pockets are big enough to put a beer in or something. And it's just awesome because it scrunches up pretty small in the van. Doesn't take up any space. It's super lightweight, and it does exactly what it's intended to do. And I know you guys have heard me before talk about how I'm not a fan of nylon, polyester, things like that. But that's really up against my skin. Like right now I'm wearing a long sleeve cotton, you know, thermal. You can see it because I'm, you know me, I'm open 24 hours a day. But you can't beat it for lightweight stuff, you know. I don't like it in the van. I think, like sleeping, I don't want to use polyester or polypropylene or, you know, any of that fleece stuff. I think you're better off. I know cotton doesn't really keep you warm, but it's comfy up against the skin. And then, you know, you go with like wool, things like that. Of course, right now I am using, I have this set of sleeping bags that zip together, and of course they're polyester filled, but the lining is 100% cotton flannel. And so I'm just using cotton flannel sheets, kind of a Mexican style blanket, and then the sleeping bag. That's enough, but it got pretty cold. It got to about 40 degrees the last couple nights at night, and so I went ahead and I had a furniture blanket in the van I keep there to put on top of the bedding to protect it, you know, when I'm working. And I put those wooden trays on top of that to put stuff in the van on top of the bedding so I don't ruin the bedding. My normal work, you know. So, but I need to put, I do have like one of those, you know, wool army blankets that I need to bring with me in the van, because that's a good thing. And I'd rather have that, and then what I think I'm going to do is buy a quality, like a twin, you know, something small enough for the van. Twin is even kind of big for it, so I'm going to have to really measure it out. Maybe if they sell them in singles, I don't know if they do. You tell me. But I'm thinking a single down comforter. So if you got a down comforter and you got a wool blanket and you got yourself a flannel sheet, that's enough, because that down really does seal in your body heat, you know. I'll set you down here in a minute. Yeah. So that's it. And walking around this right now with the sun coming out, it's warm. I mean, it's chilly here this morning still, but being in the sun, it warms up quick. So, I don't know if this catalog still exists, but if it does, it was always good stuff. Everything I bought from them. Style 1999, so that's about the time I picked this thing up. Man, it is chilly. It was just being in the sun, it was kind of warm. At any rate, one of these things, even with the trousers, I don't know if you can see them in the video here. Looks like I got to tilt this down here for you. But even with these trousers here, they're the, you know, it's a pair of utilities. So the thing about them is this particular pair, it's like a 50-50, cotton and polyester. I'm not a huge fan of it, as I keep saying, but when it comes to these sorts of things, it's good because it does make the material a lot tougher and more abrasion resistant and all that. So if you're out and about, if you're going to work in them and that sort of thing, it's just nicer. They won't color fade as much either. That's how you know the difference. Like you see 100% cotton, you'll see the fabric fades quite a bit, which looks cool, you know, and it does feel better on my skin. But again, you're out and about, that sort of thing. It's not the end of the world to have that. At any rate, that's about all I can tell you, I suppose. It's not terrible here. It's just not, I keep saying it, I must have said it a dozen times already, it's not my kind of camping. But I can see how it's nice. It's a nice way to just get out, go someplace, sleep outside at night. We talked to some people here. The woman next to us this morning was talking to Kyrgyz. I heard a couple guys talking to the woman who runs it. So she's not here all night. It's a young girl, drives around in a golf cart, enforcing the rules, which is no fun, man. And she was talking to a couple guys in the car here the other day who've been spending some time here. I think this is them here. They got a pretty nice camp set up. And they were saying how there's a couple people they walk through, and then when you leave your gear here, they steal the gear. So people have had stuff turn up missing. And so the girl next to us this morning, she was telling us that. So she locks her tent up every day when she leaves. And, yeah, but she was warning us, if you leave anything outside, she says there's people that walk through, and that's what they're doing, which is normal, right? They're scoping out stuff, and if it ain't nailed down, somebody's going to take it. So that's another negative to this place. Thievery, dog crap, the rules. I don't like rules. You can't park on the grass or anything. You can't have more than 2 vehicles. You have plenty of people at a campsite, but you can't have more than 2 vehicles parked at that campsite. I'll show you what this looks like here. So the road to drive through the park is on the other side of these bushes right here, but right here is where you park for this campsite. So that's how they've got it, you know, rigged here. All right, so you can park right here on this side here, and then that's your campsite. And you can see how large this is. You could get you could at least get at least 3 cars minimum parked here end to end without that being a problem. But their rule is you can't do it. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just a way for them to make a few extra bucks. Somebody else has to get that, or you got to park outside, because there is on the you can't see it from here, but there's a big lot over there. But then you have to walk in here, and that's a hassle. So there's a lot of little things here that are a hassle. There are red anthills here. There's earwigs, those little critters with those 2 little spires kind of that come out the bottom of their abdomen there at the end of them. And one of them I found in the van. I found one in Kyrgyz's car. So they're crawling around. And yeah, raccoons, cats, eagles, hawks, owls. You know, you got nature here. Coyotes, the bugs, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's not free. Poop. Like I said, there's just mounds of poop everywhere. You know, for a place that's going to enforce the rules, you would think they would at least, you know, pick up the dog poop. Somebody's drying their clothes. At any rate, it is almost 9:30. It's Thursday morning. I don't plan on adding any more content to this video. I'll go home and stitch these clips together best I can. I hope it's enjoyable for you guys. You know, I didn't put any thought into this, as usual. I'm always just flying by the seat of my pants. Woohoo! Woohoo! But seems to be okay for you. You seem to be enjoying it. Now I'm just mumbling. At any rate, I'm going to get back over there, see if Kirky's got something cooking, and then maybe you'll see that. She's pretty good at that stuff. And then I'm going to hit the road, get back to LA, get back to normal life. It'll be fine. I did sleep really well last night. I think I said that already. That was great. I feel real good about that. Oh, and yesterday I already mentioned, I gave you guys a fashion show earlier in the video where, you know, I picked up a couple shirts in that gas can. Yeah, it's the truth. I know what you're thinking. If spending money was an Olympic sport, I could medal in that shit. Money I don't have. But I'm very thrifty. You know, matter of fact, I'll put you down on the table here. We went out and yesterday we went into town and we hit a thrift store. We also hit a an Army Navy store. I think it's called Uncle Sam's. And I had high hopes for that. They didn't have any old surplus stuff, so, which is probably just the way it is these days. I would assume it's not like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you can go to an Army Navy store and you could still find old stuff, you know, World War II, even earlier, and through Korea and Vietnam, and use utilities and get a deal on it. But this place, they didn't really have anything old in there. It was all new. It's a hardware store and Army Navy store, but like they had these utility trousers there. They're like $50 a pair, man. And maybe that's normal these days, but I'll pick these up at a swap meet for $20, sometimes less. Matter of fact, I got these on eBay for less than $50 with the shipping and everything else. So it was a little outrageous, and the girls wanted like hand warmers and stuff. I was like, because their prices were just so high. I was like, there's a Walmart down the road. We'll go down the road. You can buy that stuff there. It was less than half, you know, for the same thing. So I don't know how they do business. I know that people these days, there's a lot of you, I'm kind of one of you to a certain extent. You want to be loyal to some businesses. But the bottom line is in this day and age where we're all kind of penny pinching, a lot of us, you got to get the best bang for your buck, you know? So it's a bummer. You can't, like it used to be, you went to an Army Navy store to save money. That's what it used to be. That's not what it is anymore. Now you're going there and you're paying top dollar for everything. And really, a lot of the times, inflated price for things that you can get elsewhere. And it's a hard thing. I don't know how brick and mortar places are doing it. It's tough. I mean, I support them. I want to support them for doing what they're doing. But when you have online shopping now, and you could just, from the comfort of your home, you got your fat ass sitting down, eating your Haagen-Dazs, getting fatter. You can order whatever you want and it gets delivered to your door. And oftentimes for less money. So if you think about getting in your car, burning gas to go someplace, that's all money, that's your time. And then what you're buying costs more. You understand why everybody's ordering things online. I want to say this too. It's kind of funny. Like these gals I'm hanging out with, you know, obviously I'm just friends. Me and Kirk, there's nothing going on there. And she's fun. But these girls were strippers, like hardcore strippers back in the day in the 1980s and 90s throughout LA. You know, and all the joints you've heard of, and you heard of them in the songs, the heavy metal bands, and they knew all those guys. Kirky's kind of famous. There's The Decline of Western Civilization, I think it's called. It's like a 3-part documentary series on music. They did punk rock, they did heavy metal. I don't remember what the other one was, maybe just rock and roll, I don't know. But when they did the heavy metal section, they're talking about this stripper that would come in and dump her money out on the bed so they could eat. That was her. And Kirky's ass, it was her ass in all these flyers for Motley Crue and all them guys when they were playing up at the Whiskey A Go-Go and all those gigs up there on the Sunset Strip. And so she was part of that. We were talking about that movie that's on Netflix right now, The Dirt, you know, the story of Motley Crue. She was there with all that, knows those guys. Matter of fact, I was friends with the drummer from Poison for years. Ricky Rocket, and she knew him too. She said that she was wearing a cast one time, and he kicked her in the leg with her cast. So they were around all this stuff. And her friend is a little older. She's 62. And she even went to Alaska for 4 years and was a dancer up there, which is, you can imagine that. That's crazy. But I'm watching them, and now the other woman is worse off. But they are, like, if you could see an old NFL player walking around from back in the day, like, you know, but those guys, most of them had enough money where they can get the surgeries and everything. But these gals can't, you know, and like they're barely getting around. And the other lady who's a little older, I mean, she's really, and I like her. I'm not talking smack about her. We've been talking about it. It's barely doing anything. You know, she's going to end up needing a nurse or something here pretty soon, the way it looks to me. And so I was talking to them about health and everything, and they listen, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? So if they're going to, I don't know that they're going to take my advice. Kirgy has a little bit, she's cut some weight. You got to cut the weight. If you cut the weight, you automatically feel better and you have more energy, and you have less pain in your joints and all that. And then as you're cutting the weight, you got to start working on your flexibility. And then you just got to start eating cleaner and cleaner and get more protein in your system. And then start doing some resistance training and get some muscle tone on your body. Even at rest, when you have more muscle on your body, even at rest, your body will burn more fat. And I bring all this up because I see people aging. I was saying this to her last night. Look at where you're at right now. How much longer are you going to live? Let's say you got 20 years. If you don't start establishing these healthy habits now, cutting the weight and doing these things, cut back on the drinking or stop drinking altogether, you're just going to get progressively worse. Like it's just nothing but progressively worse how you feel up until the day you die, versus put the time in now, establish healthy habits. Because I've seen it. I've seen people. There's a woman I follow, Renee Fit, I think it is, 71. Renee Fit 71 or Renee Fit 72, something like that, or 70, whatever it is. She's on Instagram. She's an old lady. She didn't start lifting weights until she was like 58 or 60 years old. She had health problems. And now she's competing in fitness competitions and female body she's not like massively muscular, but she's got good muscle tone on her. She's always in a bikini, and she's like 72, 73 years old. I'd break her hip in a heartbeat because I find that sexy. I think that people who are older who get fit, I respect it. And so there's a mental thing there where I respect what they're doing, and anybody could turn it around. I'm preaching again. When I was a kid in the 80s, working out and reading the muscle and fitness magazines, I used to see they'd always have these old people in there, and it was always a great story. Somebody was 300 pounds and unhealthy, got into yoga, started eating clean, eventually started lifting weights, and now the guy's jacked, you know, and he could be in his 60s, 70s, or older and have the body of a 35, 40-year-old that's jacked out of nothing, coming out of nowhere. Never did it before. So I've seen it. I've seen it in my own life. I've done it. I've changed I was pushing almost 230 pounds in 2010, you know, and I did P90X. I did it 3 times, but the first time I did it, I went from the 220s, high 220s, to 187 in like 8 weeks, and just jacked, man, ripped. And all it took was a little bit of discipline and hard work. It was easy. You just got to do it. There's no mystery to this. And I hope that some of this gets into her head, because watching her get around, can't get out of a chair at the campfire. Great human being, fun, wants to tell stories and everything. But I just want to motivate all of you to do the best with what you got and turn your life around and be healthier, because I'm telling you, as we age, it just gets worse if you don't start doing things to make it better. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't just happen on its own. You have to put in the effort. But the big one is, well, that's it. You got to put the effort in. I'm sorry, I got somebody walking over here, and I feel funny talking to my phone out here in the woods like this. I'm not as comfortable with it like Sarah is, you know. It's a funny thing about doing the YouTube.
I still feel funny about it. I don't consider myself that kind of big time YouTuber or anything. I'm just still not comfortable. Anyhow, it is a nice thing here. So you'll see people walking through here at a pretty good clip. So they're coming out here, and that's what he's doing. He's getting the exercise. So what I was going to say, the big thing is there's no mystery to it. There's no mystery. Read the ingredients on your food. Stop eating hydrogenated oils of any type. Stop eating anything with high fructose corn syrup. Cut back on the sugar. If you can cut sugar out altogether, do that. You know, cut back on the carbs. Understand what different types of carbs there are. Basic stuff, but just start reading your labels. Stop eating the chips. Stop eating the Doritos. They're literally killing you. It's poison. Yeah. It's simple stuff. It's not easy if you love that stuff, but you've got to like question yourself, like look yourself in the mirror, go, why do I love Doritos so much? Like, and do that naked, or do that in your underwear, like a full length thing in your underwear with a bag of Doritos, grabbing the fat around your belly going, why am I doing this? Like, you've got to make yourself disgusted with yourself for what you're doing to turn a gear. You've got to really see it. You know, a lot of people are just in denial and they don't want to see it. You got to see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and then hopefully you'll start doing it. And I only say this stuff because I truly care. Honestly, we all can be healthier. Listen, this thing with Robert Kennedy being part of the Trump team, he's going to get this country a lot healthier. There's going to be a lot of companies that are going to be unhappy with this because the corn syrup, it's a byproduct of other things that they make, and they get that cheaper than sugar. Right? Harvesting sugar using real sugar costs more money than it does for them to use corn syrup. That's why they use it. It's cheaper. So their profit margins are better. So all these ingredients that they use are all substitutes for the real stuff. And the real stuff just costs more money, which means the product would have to cost more. Or they would just have to take less in profits. And the thing about it is once these companies get used to these products, like the federal government, once they get used to a certain amount of money coming in, now they're spending a certain amount of money all the time. And they get used to that spending. And now that, you know, they're building factories, paying things, they're doing all these things. So they have to do a whole new accounting thing. They're going to have to restructure their finances to fit in with the new regulations that'll come down on this when it comes to the food that we're eating. But the whole country will get healthier because of it. So I'm really looking forward. That was a conversation that Kern and I had yesterday too. Like, we're both looking forward to the whole country getting healthier because of this guy. You know, not this stupid school lunch program bullshit and everything else. No. This has got to be across the board. And by the way, it's not like you got to get rid of soda and candy and everything. That stuff can all be made in a healthier way. All right, there's food here in this country that it's illegal in other countries. All right, you look at Europe, you look at their mortality rate, heart disease, things like this, based upon obesity and all that. It's nothing compared to our country. It's because these companies work with the government through the FDA. They're paying to do all this crap to get away with it, and they're literally poisoning all of us. Well, not me, because I'm not eating that shit. I did this morning. I ate some garbage. I ate some Oreos last night because I was high, and and they were there, and I shouldn't have. I feel a little guilty about it, but once in a while, you know, it's not the end of the world. But if you love that stuff and you're eating Oreo cookies every day or 3-4 times a week, that's not good, man. That's basically you're killing yourself slowly over time. That's your prerogative. If you want to do that, do it. But I'm looking forward to the day, I hope it happens, when the ingredients in the food, in the stores, in this country are all real ingredients. Because you can do a healthy version of anything. That's one of the things I got into when I was really getting into this whole concept, was coming up with desserts and things that I like, because I do have a sweet tooth, that are healthy. And I've mentioned them before. Maybe I'll do a video on that sometime. I do this thing with yogurt, the Greek yogurt, and I put some maple syrup in it. 100% maple syrup, not the Aunt Jemima shit with the chemicals. Maple syrup, honey, real honey, not the crap with the chemicals. Some cinnamon, some ginger, some walnut oil, secret ingredient. And I whip that up with a fork. And then I'll top it up off with some other stuff sometimes. Right now it's been the bee propolis stuff. It comes in like a pellet form. And I sprinkle that on the top. And it tastes great. It satisfies that sugar thing that I need at that moment in time. But there's a ton of protein in it. Everything in it is healthy. Everything in it is good for you. It's totally guilt-free and satisfies that thing that you need at that moment in time. I got a ton of stuff like that I've been doing. So, I mean, there's paleo recipes for anything you want to eat practically, any kind of cake or whatever. So you can make healthy versions of it. Just don't be lazy. Like, learn how to cook on your own, because you can make a batch of healthy cookies or something and have them, and stop buying the chemical laden garbage that's literally killing you slowly from the supermarket. All right, I'm off the soapbox. This is it. I'm coming back to camp here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see, maybe Kyrgyz got some food on the thing. This is Kyrgyz setup. She slept in the back of her truck for the first time. She's tiny, so she could fit in there like that. And I got the solar panel up here. You guys have seen that before, and
I know. I feel I would hear those at night.
pulling in 138 watts on the IceCo, which is pretty good. I was at 50% when I went for the walk, so it's coming up quick. I'll stick around a little while longer, and then I'll be heading out probably in an hour or so. That's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for coming along. Be kind to one another. I'll catch you all in the next one.